Hello everyone, we're here with Alistair Dunn from Hardie's in Glasgow. Thanks Alistair for allowing us to be here today and giving us a tour of the factory.
No problem.
I see you have a lovely set here.
Yeah, this is one of our finest sets, I suppose you could say, relatively new as well. This is the Celtic Heritage with our hand engraved silver.
Very nice. And I'm sure that's the top range version.
Crafted here as we're going to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably my favourite set at the moment, I would say.
So this has like the embossed wood here.
Yeah,
you do that yourself in-house?
Yeah, this is etched here.
Oh,
yeah, so
excellent.
the traditional combing and beading.
Yeah.
This would just be plain, a bit like our Hardie Zero set, but then we etch this Celtic pattern in, so it's very unique and decorates the pipes nicely. Nice.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing the process, taking us through
each of the stages.
From naked wood to this lovely set of bagpipes. Let's do it.
Yep, look forward to it.
So we're here in production, quite loud.
Yeah,
I hope you can hear us.
It's just a bit later as well when we start sun drilling. So this is the main area where we're making the bagpipes. So we'll take the wood from the billet form, right through profile and
blocks here.
Yeah, that's right. There's got one here to show you.
Okay.
So this is how we buy the wood in.
Okay.
So it's already cut to size for the specific part. This is a base top.
Okay.
It's got waxed ends. That's so just when it's in.
So the wood this comes in. This is how you buy the wood in. That's from where's this from?
Either Tanzania or Mozambique.
Tanzania, Mozambique. Yeah. And this is being dried.
It's we buy instrument grade. We've got moisture control meters where you can prick the wood and then establish what the moisture content is. So some people ask us how long do you season your wood for? So a lot of the time we don't know when this was harvested or how long it was with our distributor.
Yeah.
But certainly for us, we'll rough it into a cylinder, put some gun drills through it, bell it, and then we'll leave it on the shelves here.
Yeah.
So you can see we've got maybe about 150 sets in that form, drying out at the moment.
Yeah. That's an important question, you know. People ask, how long has the wood been mature, you know? Because I remember back in my days, you know, it was 20 years of wood storage mature, just not feasible in this day and age, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not sure if that was ever the case. I mean, you could possibly do it with pipe chanters, for example. You could put maybe we've done that. We put 500 sets, 100 pieces of chanter wood. Yeah. That's probably the most critical part of the instrument because it needs to be finely tuned. The drones, again, you've got the tuning of the drones, which is a bit more, allows a bit more variability.
So what I can say from my experience as a dealer, many years, is recent years we've had almost next to no wood cracking, or you know, very small percentage. Yeah. So that's certainly not an issue in this day and age. I would say, you know, with the wood, I think it is mature enough. It seems to be dry enough for the purpose. So yeah. So this then becomes.
So we're going to rough that into a cylinder.
Yeah.
So that means you can then grip it in a chuck. So this part will be put between 2 points and roughed into a cylinder. This means you can then put it in a chuck.
Yeah.
And then put gun drills through it.
And it's all the sections are always the same size, and then you work them down. Yeah.
So that's what we've got measuring devices as well, so everything can be checked, so it's all the exact same height.
Right.
What's good about the way we do it today, and I'm sure other makers as well, is we still do things in a traditional sense, but now we've got superb tooling, gun drills, reamers, very precise tools. Which means we can make the consistency of the parts a lot better.
Yeah.
We want to make sure the bores on this, if it's a double bore, is concentric and true, because that's where you're going to have issues with tuning. If those aren't concentric and true, you'll end up with an eclipse at the top of the drone as you tune it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we're fine tuning it, we want to make sure our gun drills are concentric and through. So that's what's been done on this. So we've now put our gun drill through. 2 gun drills have gone through this. They're 2 different diameter bores,
Yeah,
which you can see.
yeah,
And then a drilling tool at the top.
yeah.
So this is the stage we want to get to as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So if we were busy, we did make sure we had some in before we bring it in. But we try to get to this stage as quickly as possible because that's where all the stresses and strains are going to come from. Is removing all this wood, and that puts the stress on the wood. So we want to make sure we leave it between each stages for as long as possible. So then we're going to profile it.
Yeah.
So this is where we remove a lot of the wood, which you can feel the difference in weight.
Yeah, a massive difference.
So what happens to all the waste? Unfortunately, there isn't anything that we can do with it.
Yeah.
We have looked at that.
Yeah.
Even though we think we produce a lot of waste, it's still not enough to commercialise that. We have had some ideas about how to combine materials, but unfortunately it is waste.
It'll get burnt somehow, I suppose, you know, go into a furnace and create energy.
That's it. So you can see some of the tools, machinery that we're using here, so that'll be the next thing that we'll look at.
Okay. So this is the first step then?
Yeah, so after we've turned it into a cylinder, we can then put that into the chuck and we'll use this. This is a gun drill.
That goes through the hole then?
Through the holes, yeah. So if you can imagine a gun needs to shoot straight. So this is how we get our nice straight bores that go through the pipes.
Okay.
So there's a hole in here, so this is where we put a compressed air line. And then as this is cutting, it's blowing all the dust out the back. So it means we're always
through the hole out the back.
removing all that waste, otherwise it'll get clogged up.
Yeah.
But this means we can go through in one go. Rather than having to pack. So yeah, we'll have different sizes of these depending on the board that we need to put in.
Yeah.
And this is the machine here that will use this gun drill in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the 2 bores that have gone in there.
Yeah.
So this is where your hemp goes in. This is the top. So we're going to bell this now for the projector side.
So the bores is the smaller
double bore for the base stone. You can have a look down and inspect that they're concentric.
Yeah.
That's it. So from that we're going to profile it.
Okay.
So that's the next stage. We'll get that set up and show you how that's done.
Okay. So profiling.
Profiling, yeah. So again, for consistency, we want our sets to look exactly the same.
Yeah.
We're still going to hand finish them, but we want to profile for consistency.
When you say profiling, that's including the combing?
Yes, we do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can do it either way. We can do it plain, or if I was making a 1920s Robertson base top, we would need to make it plain and then do it all by hand.
Yeah.
But for consistency, for forming it, we're going to profile it on here. So we've already done the bell, which is the process after the gun drilling, and then we're going to profile it.
So this will become this in this machine?
Yeah. It includes all our parts, whether it's nickel, silver, imitation ivory, are all getting fitted to the same part of the wood.
So do you have, just from my understanding, you have like a machine for each part, or do you reprogram the machine for each?
It's a program for each part, so it's the same machine. Either of these machines will be doing that. So just going to get started here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So profiling completed?
Yeah, so this is the different types. So we did, this is combed and beaded.
Yeah.
So I got a comb and then the bead in between. This one's plain because this is for a heritage set, so it's going to get laser etched.
Right, okay.
So that's why that one's plain.
Okay.
So here we have the turners. They're going to check the finish of it. You can see here there's a very small imperfection there. Very, very small, but it's not enough for me to want to waste this bit of wood.
Right, okay.
It's something I think pipers need to maybe do a bit more understanding on in terms of conservation and you know, people have very particular about
so you'll polish that up and
the guy, I mean that's probably like half a millimeter in, so they'll check that over and they could just turn that out to finish it. So here we're going to start fitting the different parts. You can see that's oversized.
Yeah.
So this is still done by hand, and we're going to polish the whole set by hand as well. So we've got a piece here if you want to hold this. So you can see the ferrule's been threaded on.
Yeah. Because I remember back in sort of the old days, you know, there was always an issue of the ferrules falling off, you know, because they're glued and there's movement in the wood, and then these things would just fall off. You would have to glue them back on again.
Yeah.
You know, so the threading.
By adding the thread, you're increasing the surface area for the adhesive as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just with the thread.
So you still glue them then?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's
That's a nickel alloy.
Nickel alloy, right? Okay.
Nickel alloy or silver is what we use.
Is it a read? Because what I've noticed from experience over my time, what I've noticed is that plain nickel versus engraved nickel, the plain nickel seems to sort of get oxidized quicker. I don't know why it is, you know, they're more.
You see everything in plain nickel, so because you've got a pattern on here, it's less noticeable. It still is happening. Just like you'll see fingerprints as soon as you touch them. I mean, we have polishing tips, and I would say to people after you're playing, just give your pipes a quick wipe down.
Yeah.
It's going to be the rain and whatever's in the rain, or perhaps the salt from your sweat is going to oxidize it that much quicker.
Yeah.
So polishing your pipes every 6 months is going to help them keep that brand new shine.
And where do you get polish from?
We have our own polish.
Oh, you do?
We've got our own polishing kit which has Renaissance wax on it as well, which is used in museums. That'll protect everything on the instrument. The metal polish helps it from tarnishing as well, or along the life of the nickel, keeping it shiny.
Yeah. So this is the plastic.
This is the plastic production area. So there's quite a lot of plastic components in the pipes, such as the imitation ivory. We've got blue protectors. We've got the plastic blowpipes.
Yeah.
Some of these things they're quite good inventions in terms of they're very durable. Plastic's going to last for thousands of years. You know, it's not going to degrade like blackwood. A lot more sturdy as well. So this plastic that we use has got similar characteristics and properties to blackwood, so it's good as a replacement.
Yeah.
For me, there's no better instrument in terms of the drums anyway than blackwood. Just you get a lot more harmonics coming from the drums.
Yeah.
I think for pipe chanters it's a little bit different, where for a plastic chanter you kind of do want a big brash sound to blow the judge's ears off and have that impact.
Yeah.
So solo piping, it's more blackwood, more mellow type sound.
But have you seen an increase though in demand for plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's both positives and negatives, pros and cons, I suppose. And if you're playing in New York St. Patrick's Day parade and it's -5 outside, you really want to take your nice blackwood set out into those conditions. Also, possibly travelling overseas as well.
Yeah.
You know, there is a place for them. In my opinion, they don't produce the same sound in the drones.
Well, I mean, what we've noticed is a lot of they seem to go down well as a backup set for your blackwood pipes, like you say, for certain occasions where you know it's going to be chucking down on a parade or something. You don't want to take your valuable blackwood pipe, you know. So I mean, I honestly I think an inexperienced piper wouldn't really hear much of a difference, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
So,
I mean, it's not what I would aspire to own. I think with an instrument like the bagpipes, it is more of an heirloom instrument. instead of maybe a guitar or a whistle or a flute. It's an element, and you might pass down through the generations.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I would want to be handed this as an heirloom gift.
No, but
a plastic set. And you can see as well that made in a similar fashion to the Blackwood, but just check out the bore on that compared to what we saw with the Blackwood.
Yeah.
Very, very smooth, almost a mirror-like finish.
Yeah.
So for me, the sound is a little bit smoother, and that's why I think it lacks the harmonics of a Blackwood set, because the Blackwood will have little marks in it, just the grain of the wood that you'll see.
Yeah. And it'll absorb moisture as well, the Blackwood. So,
you can't
the plastic types have the exact same bore sizes, etc. Same specifications.
Yeah.
So practice chanters, that's where you're making the practice chanters, and that's I recognise that. That's the trap rye.
The twist trap insert, for practice chanters. So
for the water trap for the practice
that's
chanters.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So here we've got this is a bar feeder.
A what?
So, a bar feeder.
Okay.
So we made this up with bars, and if it's pushed in, you can see that into the spindle. So we're going to push the plastic in, and it means we can leave it unattended.
Okay.
It's almost like a robot. It's not actually, the machine's not being operated by anyone. Okay. So it means we can load that up, and this is just for small component parts like the twist trap insert.
Right.
So we can just let them go through the conveyor, and then they get picked out at a later time.
Okay.
So you can't do the pipe chanters because of the length.
Yeah. But I can see you get the imitation ivory, so you'll make the parts, the imitation ivory.
Yeah, because they're very small, so you can maybe do 200 or 300 in a night, for example, or over the period of a day, rather than have somebody standing, feeding it and controlling the machine. Okay. That's all done by the program. These machines are all programmed, which is what makes them different to a manual lathe.
Yeah.
So CNC, computer numerical control. This is the mill. So this is for the pipe chanters and practice chanters, so we need to put the holes into these.
There's a wooden chanter in there right now.
Chanter, yeah. So you can see in the carousel there we've got all the different drill bits.
Yeah.
So depending on
what's going to happen with this chanter, that's going to have the bore put through it. And
it's just for the holes, it'll be the side holes, all the finger holes that we put on here. So do you want to start the machine for us there?
Yeah. I've programmed everything so far. Here we go. They all look the same to me. I mean, it's a half.
It's a little bit like a really soft wood.
Yeah, it's like half. So we're on to the engraving and laser etch.
Yes, this is the engraving and finishing room. So once they've finished all the processes next door, they come through here for a final polish and inspection, assembly if somebody wants the set ready to play.
Yeah.
Two different types of engraving that we're doing. The hand engraving for silver is not done in-house.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've got the nickel alloy here being rotary engraved.
Yeah.
So this is mechanical engraving, where you've got a tool, a little bit like the mill that we saw doing the holes in the chanter.
Yeah.
So it's actually engraving into the metal.
Yeah. How long does that take then for just one ferrule?
Yeah, this is probably going to be about 12 minutes, I would think.
About 10 minutes?
Yeah, well, it's already been running here for over 11 minutes.
11 minutes, right, okay. So
we've got two machines that will be doing these at the same time. Yeah. So the designs are quite nice, and you've got that depth of engraving which you can feel, which is nice.
Yeah.
The only thing is that the patterns can be quite basic. So what we invested in is laser engraving as well.
Yeah.
Engraving and etching, which is what you can see on here. This is the heritage set. So you can see how much detail we can get on the ring cap here. So this is etched into the top surface of the nickel.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that laser machine before. Did you use that for some of the other products?
Yeah.
You know, the on the Highland wear side, but it'd be interesting to see that in action again.
Yeah, and what's good about the laser etching and engraving is we can engrave pretty much every material we're using. As you touched upon there, the leather for the spurring to etched into that.
Yeah.
Plastic for the chanters, we can engrave serial numbers on, and with our sets on the base stock, we laser in the turner's number.
Yeah.
Because we want to get that feedback over many years about. You mentioned that parts might come off, for example.
Yeah.
So we can identify which turner manufactured or crafted that set for us, just to keep some quality control checks in place.
Okay.
And then also we want to brand everything. You're well aware, maybe 20, 30 years ago, makers didn't put the year of manufacture.
Yeah.
And it's probably the most asked question.
Yeah.
What year are my pipes from? It's like, well, I can guess a period of time, but whereas now we put the year of manufacture and our name on it, a serial number to trace it as well. That's all done by the engravers and laser etching.
Yeah. Can we see the laser etching then?
Yeah, we'll have a look at that next door here.
Yeah, so that's
our new Celtic heritage Bagpipe Center. So again, we're etching a Celtic pattern into the wood. You can probably see here one that's been finished.
Like this here. Very nice.
So this is unique to us. We're laser engraving the wood on the pipes rather than combing and beading. So this is a CO2 laser with two different types of laser that it can achieve different results.
Okay.
So this can be done because it's not reflective. So that's why we can't do it on the metal. So we have a different process for the metal to burn into the outer surface of the nickel. You can also do this on plastic, for example. But if we use a different type of laser, we can mark it like this. Mm-hmm. So again, there's no depth to that engraving, but it's permanently marked.
It's like it's printed on almost. Yeah.
So that's the part before it's been laser etched. So again, it's good. You can get all that detail of pretty intricate logo we have.
Yeah.
And then it's a finished piece of the Celtic.
Yeah. Quite impressive, isn't it? Yeah.
It's nice to do something different. I don't know how you feel, John, about seeing the same sets for 20 years with a small variance, whereas this is quite unique.
Yeah, it's a very nice, very unique set. Absolutely. Like it. So this is in polishing process.
Yeah, this is the final stage. You can see the wood. We've done all the forming and sanding. Next door, we've made the mount. This is a blow pipe, which also has a plastic insert to protect the wood from moisture, but still give you that look to match your pipes. So you can see the wood looks quite bare, almost it's unfinished looking. So that'll be the final stage then. Zach here is going to finish it and we'll be doing final inspections.
So here's a question, because this is something that gets asked quite often, how do I maintain the pipe? So when the wood's new like this, you use a certain polish, but that's not the polish you'll use after, in a year's time or whatever. Why not?
Well, we're buying commercial available waxes, 5 meter drum.
There's a wax.
That would probably last a piper a lifetime to use. So we've recommended Renaissance wax, which is used in museums to preserve the wood. It'll actually protect the whole instrument, as well as we have metal polishes to protect this part, the nickel and silver. And we recommend you do this at least once a year, if not, try and do it every 6 months, and that'll just keep the pipes looking.
With a wax or with an oil?
You can oil the inside, and that'll get absorbed into the wood. I'm not so keen on the outside, so the Renaissance wax is quite good on the outside.
Right.
So Zach's just going to polish this blow pipe, so we'll get a before and after shot of that.
So that's us back. I'm tired, ready for a cup of tea.
That's it, no problem at all. Good
Thanks very much.
Yeah, so this is it. You can see all the different parts that we saw being crafted and manufactured downstairs.
So these are hand engraved then?
This is hand engraved silver. So this is a heritage designed specifically for this set, unique to this set. So you can imagine that we've got our different bores in here. We've got our mount fitted. We've had it polished. So this is how the set all comes together. And as I said, what we're looking for is for this whole bass drum to be concentric. So when we're tuning it, it moves nicely. There's no jumping and just get everything perfect. So you can finally tune them and play at the Glenfiddich if you wish.
I wish. Well, thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks.
Enjoyed that.